Hello everybody, Kinja427 here with a Backpack Hero Relic tier list. There are 19 relics here, as you can see. Got them listed in alphabetical order here. We've got Barbell, Belt of Knives, Bombstone, Cleansing Flame, Conductor, Coral, Cotton, Frog Totem, Ginger, Glass Bottle, Hourglass, Mousewood, Ore, Sandwich, Shield Spirit, Spice, Stopwatch, Tusk, and Windmill. I'm going to be ranking them from F tier all the way up to S tier, explaining my choice for each one. Within a given tier, they can pretty much go in any order. I've just listed them in personal preference as well, but again, within each one, something that's listed at the bottom of F tier is just deserving to be in there as something at the top. Again, this is all personal opinion, except for Cotton. That one deserves to be an F tier. It has been voted as the worst relic in the game. Little spoiler for there, Cotton's an F tier. But yeah. Anyway, starting at the very worst, F tier. We have Hourglass, Cotton, Bombstone, Barbell, Glass Bottle, and Mousewood. So, starting here with Hourglass. I personally hate this one more than Cotton. On weapon use, it's -1 damage permanently to that weapon. The bonus is plus 200% bonus damage. It takes 2 inventory slots. Now, why do I hate this relic? It is because of this permanently word right here. If that was this combat, this would actually be a pretty interesting relic. However, as it stands, it is terrible. Because that minus damage will never go away. Your weapon will always be dealing less damage. And especially early game, where every single point of damage matters, taking Hourglass is a run killer. Is you can get to a point where you're not dealing any damage anymore. And you just have to waste turns. Like if you had the soldier's buckler, you just have to spam that thing to try to deal any damage with your weapon. When you do, it's so pitiful, it's not worth the time that you wasted. And then we have Cotton, again voted the worst relic in the game. On wand use, being the only relic that only affects wands, disables the wand for 1 turn, adds 2 mana to connected mana stones, takes 1 slot. Now, I do see 2 uses for this. Number 1 is a stupid Ring of Doom setup, where you have like 15 wands and a Ring of Doom, and just slowly recharge the mana stones using all of those wands to power up the Ring of Doom, which is, again, stupid and not worth the time investment. The other use I can see for this is the Ethereal Staff, which creates an ethereal energy on use and costs 3 mana to use. That or Blade Summoner, which also costs 3 mana. I would personally change this 2 mana to 3 to make it a little bit better, so you're basically being able to use those for free, giving it some more viability. That might make it too overpowered, but we'll see. And some of these are already much more powerful than Cotton. Bombstone. On weapon use, it destroys the weapon, and all weapons gain plus 500% bonus damage. So it's essentially using 6 attacks at once, with 5 of them being free. And sure, it's destroying the weapon, but you gotta admit, it's like a bomb. It burns brightly and quickly. Now, this is an F tier because of that destroys the weapon thing. Early game, where you don't really know what you're doing, if you get like a slime sword or ethereal wand or just really anything for ethereal weapons, sure, it can work, but at the same time, there are better options out there. Like, even barbell. Weapons cannot be used if anything is adjacent to them, plus 100% bonus damage. This item is heavy. So, sure, it'll cost more energy, but at the same time, after 3 attacks, you're breaking even with your weapon. Sure, nothing can be adjacent to it, but, I mean, hey, eventually, it might be worth it. Like, if you're dealing a stupid amount of damage with only one weapon, might as well make it even stupider by adding barbell. The glass bottle is kind of a weaker barbell in my opinion. Weapons cannot be used if it is adjacent. Let me change that in here. To a shield or armor. All weapons gain plus 6 damage. They both take the same amount of space. However, I would much sooner take glass bottle than barbell. Mainly because inventory space is precious, and it's much easier to separate armor and weapons than just having a bunch of empty space around your weapon. And also this way you could have a cleaver build, which I really like cleaver builds, so personal preference, glass bottle is better than barbell. Mousewood. This is the most convoluted item in my explanation. So the first arrow in each row gains plus 200% bonus damage on use and resets every turn. All arrows become disabled if anything is adjacent to them. Really the wording says that it affects the bow, but I'm wording it this way so you see that it's affecting the arrows. So why does this matter? So why is this an F tier? Well, again, arrows become disabled. I don't like not being able to use things. It can ruin a run if you misread what Mousewood does. I should know it did happen to someone on the Discord. I was like, yeah, this is why. However, Mousewood can have interesting scaling, but already being an archery build is very situational, and electric arrows are really good anyway, so you might as well just be using those instead of normal arrows. So, and you can't even use those with Mousewood because they'll be adjacent to mana stones and therefore disabled. Honestly, not worth taking unless you are doing a very dedicated build where Mousewood is the main relic you're focusing on. But then, why? There are better relics to focus a build around. So yeah, that's all for the F tier. This is stuff that I will basically never take in a run. I have taken everything except for Hourglass. I have never taken Hourglass before. But I don't take these anymore. Next up, we have the D tier. I just threw two relics in here. They're better than F tier, so they're not run ending, but they are not very useful. Tusk is up first. All weapons gain on use become anchored for 2 combats. And all weapons gain plus 5 damage, taking 2 slots. So why do I put this one here in D tier? It's because being able to reorganize can be very useful up to a point. So being able to move stuff around is important. Like if you get a new item that needs to be in the center of your build in order to be good, but you already have a weaker weapon in there, well, now your damage will need to take a hit, or you'll need to do a massive reorganize so that you can move everything around to use that new weapon. which will just be way more trouble than it is worth. Like, especially with a cleaver build. If you get a new king or queen cleaver and want to replace a jack, that is going to take a lot of reorganizing. Or just trying to figure out how in the world to do that. It is not worth taking Tusk unless everything is set and Anchor doesn't matter at that point. In which case, might as well take the +5 damage. Sure. And then Ginger. All weapons gain +1 damage per adjacent consumable. 1 space. This is really only useful if you're going a fish sword build and not planning on going into endless mode. Because, I mean, sure, they're consumables though. Consumables are best used, in my opinion, before you start attacking, not after. Especially with something like Spice, which we'll get to later. So, Ginger, I can understand why you would take it, but the bonus is just not worth it. That's all for D tier. Situational, but otherwise worthless. Throw in what I think each tier is. Run ending to useless. One specific setup. / very situational. Now we have the C tier. Okay, I guess. Spice. When using consumable use, gain 3 rage. Rage buffs all weapon attacks by the amount of rage. And you lose 1 rage after every turn. So why do I put this one with C tier? It's because, well, it's a larger buff than Ginger for shorter fights. And 2, if you have like Crimson Energy and your consumables are taking up a slot they're going in, you can gain something from them. Whereas with Ginger, you want to keep your consumables, which defeats the whole point of consumables. They're made to be used. Speaking of consumables, C tier is just full of them with Sandwich. All consumables give plus 200% more health. So something that would heal 8 now heals 24 health. Does not affect regeneration. Takes 1 space. This one, honestly, I can understand taking. Like, if there are better options, I'll completely ignore it, but, I mean, yeah, I can understand taking Sandwich. I mean, everything in D tier, D and E, I'll basically never take. C, I'll take if there's nothing better and I need to take a Relic. But yeah, that plus 200% can really make a big difference. And going from 8 to 24 extra health is big, considering you only start with 40. And then the last thing in C tier is Ore. All weapons gain plus 1 damage per adjacent gem. Takes 1 slot. Now this is good because you already have gems next to gear anyway. Might as well gain an extra bonus for free. No real downside to taking this one. And if you have no gems, it's completely worthless. But if you have a lot of them, like you're, say, doing a pickaxe build, Ore is a really good relic to grab. Next, we have B tier. Pretty good. We have the Frog Totem, which adds 3 mana to adjacent mana network. Takes 1 space. This is really good when you consider that the Ethereal Staff I was talking about earlier takes 3 mana to use to gain 1 energy, and can only be used once per turn. So with Frog Totem, an ethereal staff, and 1 huge mana stone, they can hold 3 mana, well, you get an ethereal energy for free every turn, which can really add up over a long run, over a long combat. And then we have Conductor, which also works well with mana. Oh, I'm at low battery. Just ignore that. Adds 25% damage to all connected weapons. This item is conductive. So honestly, it's extra damage. It's nice to have. And again, I can understand why you would take this. It's personally not something I would take. I mainly focus on A and S tier relics, because there are enough of them that I usually don't feel pressured to need to take Conductor, but yeah, I can understand why you would take it. Now moving on to the A tier. Some setups require these. So take them if you are running builds that need them. Mainly cleaver builds. Actually, yeah, all of these apply to cleaver builds. Cleansing Flame. All weapons on use remove 1 spikes and 1 regeneration from all enemies. Very useful against the king fight, because the king, whenever he's attacked, gains 1 spikes and 1 rage. This doesn't do anything about the rage, but the spikes can easily kill you. Like, instantly kill you. You attack, you take 1 damage, then 2, then 3. So you've taken 1, now you've taken 3, now you've taken 6, now 10, 15, 21, 28, 36, 45. You're dead if you never saw a healer and have no shield. After 9 hits, the spikes damage alone has already killed you. Cleansing Flame, however, makes you've taken 1, 1, 1, 1. You're at -1 health, then -2, -3, -4, -5. Much more manageable. It would take 40 attacks for spikes to kill you. Much better than 9. Coral is up next. If you're going a Juggernaut shield build, Coral is a great damage dealer. Shields on use give +2 spikes. Adds +2 spikes to bonus on use. Bonus resets every turn. Takes 1 space. So I didn't really do a great job of explaining this, but if I load up Backpack Hero here, you can see, along with my floor 201 run here, all shields get this effect applied. On use, this item gets +2 spikes to self this turn. All shields get +2 spikes to self. So, as you can see here, every time that it triggers, it will add to the number of spikes. So here, Coral this shield has been used a few times, so it has the +6 modifier there. So on use, it will give me 12 spikes, plus the 2 from the forge. This is a run that I am very proud of, as you can see, floor 200, but that's just showing off this point. It's pretty useful. However, it's in A tier because it does nothing for fire, poison, or curses, which really hurt late game and endless mode. Like, these are good in endless mode and the first 9 floors. Finally, in A tier, we have Belt of Knives. All weapons give all adjacent weapons +3 damage this turn on use. So you use a weapon, all adjacent weapons will gain +3 damage. For cleaver builds, this is a must-have, right underneath Cleansing Flame as well. It is a great way to add extra damage. and there's no downside other than the fact that it takes 2 spaces in your inventory. Up next, we have Windmill, or S tier. Always takes. Always take. First up, we have, well, Windmill. As you see, I have all 3 of the S tier stuff in my setup. So with Windmill, it is the simplest relic. It takes 2 slots and gives you 1 energy. Why is this an S tier? Because it is efficient. So you can see that I have these Crimson energies here, which on each turn also adds 1 energy. However, it essentially is 1 energy for 3 inventory slots, as when an item is present 2 spaces away, this item loses its bonus. So, let me use this duct tape to showcase. If I have items here and here, it's useless. If I move this duct tape away, this is still useless. It's only when there is nothing in these 2 slots that it is useful. So that is 3 slots for 1 energy. This Emerald Bracelet here, with 1 curse, is just as efficient as Windmill. And this is the only thing that is actually more efficient than Windmill. Emerald Bracelet with multiple curses. However, I screwed up my placement for them. Not to mention, there's a glitch where curses cannot be placed in either of the end columns. So yeah. That's why I put Windmill in S tier. It is basically free energy. Actually, I'm just going to use this gameplay footage for the rest of the stuff. We have Shield Spirit. All shields get this effect applied. On use, adjacent weapons get used. However, when a weapon is activated in this way, it loses 1 damage this combat, even if the weapon is not used. So, let me... I'm actually going to keep coral in my inventory here. Even though I lose 1 energy, I don't really care. So let me show you it in action. On floor 202. I'll showcase both this and stopwatch. So we go into this fight here. They have a lot of health. Oh no, whatever will I do? Let me use this Hercule Pavis. 1, 2, 3 attacks for free. Or for less than the cost of 1 Assassin's Dagger attack. So this crossbowman here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks. I get 6 attacks with this dagger. However, as you can see, as I should have shown, it does lose damage when attacking in this way. So you can see here that it's supposed to deal 59.46. The first hit here does 59.33. And that is because it takes into account the damage reduction. So it's not a guaranteed kill with this, but here, let me show you. So I lose 10 damage due to the shields all activating each other. However, for being activated 6 times for 1 energy, I'd say that's worth it. This is showcasing how it's basically required for endless mode if you want to get far. And then we have the final relic, Stopwatch. All weapons get this effect applied. On use, this item gets +1 damage this combat. Synergizes stupidly well with Shield Spirit. As you can see here, it gains +6 damage from Stopwatch. Now, if I only had 1 Hercule Pavis, you probably wouldn't have even noticed the downside, just because 1 use of Hercule Pavis, and then 5 other shields, all connected with duct tape, and boom, the Shield Spirit and Stopwatch cancel each other out, so I don't get any damage reduction. It can be a very powerful combination, and is great early game, late game, past floor 100, as I've shown, past floor 200, all the way up forever. And it's basically the best Relic in the game. So yeah, that is my tier list. All the way from Hourglass to Stopwatch. If you guys have... Let me delete some of this empty space so that we can get everything on one screen here. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Which relics do you guys want in Backpack Hero? Which ones are the best for you? Let me know your opinions in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Oh, wrong button. Wait, I'm still recording? I'm still recording. Why is my hotkey not working?